My name is Benson. This is my wife, Mercy Samuel. We have 3 beautiful children, Nathaniel, who's 13. Then we have twin girls, Sophia and Aaliyah. They're identical twins. Sophia was born with some medical issues.
Well, at birth, we immediately suspected that something was wrong with Sophia. Her twin was doing well, but we could hear the panic in the doctor's voices as they were discussing her. She was in distress, and she had to be placed on oxygen rather quickly. And even after weeks in the NICU, we could tell that she wasn't progressing like her twin. She was born without a swallow, without a suck, without a gag reflex, and she was extremely weak and had no muscle tone at all. We thought our health concerns were over after the pregnancy, and now we potentially faced a lifetime of unknown problems and health concerns. And it was painful watching one twin progress rapidly and the other one seem so lifeless. I remember taking all the doctor's reports and just spreading it out in front of the Lord in prayer and asking him to tell us what to do next. How do we handle this?
Well, my name is Suami Torres. I have 3 children. Carla, who's 26, Victoria, 8, and my special little one, my boy, Amikel. When I was about 13 weeks, I was told that my son was coming with spina bifida. A spina bifida is a malformation of the spine. It happens very early stage in the pregnancy. We don't know why it happened, but it causes lesion to the spine, and because of that, bladder issues, bowel issues, and my son cannot walk. It was very stressful, not knowing what my baby was gonna face or come into the world to. The first few years were really, really tough. We went through a lot of things, learning about his condition and everything that he needed at that time. Well, during that time, I became a single mom, and I was working a lot over there. I had my oldest at the time. All my spare time was either between appointments and therapies, and of course, juggling work into all that. There's no many resources. And when he was about 3, I decided that I needed to look for something else. I wanted more for my son. I wanted to move to Houston because of the medical center. During that time, my brother, one of my brothers, gave me Pastor Joel's book. And that book was a true blessing during that time.
We've been attending Lakewood for about 12 years now.
As we continued to come and were strengthened by the messages and the worship, I could tell that both of our perspectives started to shift. We realized that God had not abandoned us. He was still in control, and he was working behind the scenes even though we couldn't see it, and that we just had to continue trusting in him. Things were getting more difficult. If there was progress, it seemed to be few and far between. And we started to come to Champions during that time. And we were loved on by Pastor Craig and Miss Norma and all the teachers there so much. And Sophie was cared for and loved on so much. And it just felt like we had an army of people walking this journey with us. We felt like we weren't alone anymore. It was about 3 years ago, and Sophia learned the confidence that we were experiencing in church and in Champions, because she decided that she was going to not let the limitations on her body hold her back any longer. She started trying to first stand. A few months later, she started taking a few steps independently, and then it didn't end there. She started to walk independently, and we were overjoyed. It was such a miraculous time for our family.
Champions Club has been our family since we moved here. We don't have anybody here. Our family is back in Puerto Rico, and they became family. They welcome us. They love my kid. Ami has had 14 surgeries. Ami is going to 7th grade. He is learning to play the violin. He got into the Hot Wheels wheelchair basketball team, prep team. So seeing my son being able to play basketball, wheelchair basketball in this case, has been amazing. Is the dream come true. Seeing my son score that first shoot at basketball was amazing.
Good job!
The best feeling ever.
Yes! Yes!
I can say to a parent that is walking through the challenges of raising a special needs child that I know is rough, I know is hard, and there's times when it seems really dark, to push through, to find hope, to pray, to believe that things are going to get better, because they're going to get better.
Pastor Joel always says our best is still ahead of us. They're not behind us.
So at 9 years old, Sophia has a lot more obstacles to overcome and quite the journey ahead of her. And as parents, we're believing that she will continue to develop intellectually and physically. But our testimony for her is that God has been faithful, and He will continue to be faithful, and that the best days for Sophia are still ahead of her.